really quickly, we're going to be building a basic crypto arbitrage searcher program. I remember I explained crypto arbitrage in a more fast way on TikTok and even on Instagram as well too. A lot of people didn't understand the advanced program that I was explaining, which was a search algorithm. And it is advanced programming, so that is probably why most people didn't get it. Most people don't have that level of skill yet. So I decided to kind of create a more watered down, simple version for people who are new to programming, to kind of understand the concept. It's not going to be a search algorithm. It's going to be something a little bit more simple, more easy to understand. And the reason I'm doing this is because we have to kind of go the decentralized route as algo traders when it comes to building crypto trading bots, simply because KYC is kind of being implemented, especially in the US, is being implemented heavily on most crypto trading platforms that are centralized, such as KuCoin, such as Kraken, etc., etc. I no longer have access to those platforms simply because I'm based in the US. And for most people who are algo traders in that space, you're going to have to adapt. And the way you adapt is utilizing the decentralized route, using DeFi products. Simply because they're not owned by one central entity, so there is no way to really regulate them. So we essentially can still create crypto bots or crypto trading projects within that route itself. All right. That's what we're going to be doing all December. That's why I've dubbed December Crypto Christmas. In my Algo World trading community, I'm going to be building programs like this. I'm going to actually expand on this program to actually initiate the swaps as well too. I'm writing that code right now as we speak, and that's going to be for my students. So if you want to join, you want to learn more about this, join there. But I just want to show this intro video for everyone else so that they can kind of understand the basic concept of it and even see a simple program to execute this. All right. So now my explanation of what arbitrage is. Say we're looking for one cryptocurrency. It's KuCoin, KuCoin, KuCoin. It's not a real currency. It's just for example purposes. It's priced at $80 on exchange 2 and $100 on exchange 1. So there's $20 to be made here. So how do you do that? You would buy KuCoin for $80 here and then sell it when on the other platform, platform 1 for $100, and you make $20 per coin owned. So you buy 1 for 80, sell it for 100 on the other, you make $20. Buy 2, you make 40, 3, etc., etc. That's example. That's basically what arbitrage is. It's taking advantage of price differences on two different platforms. I'm using platforms because exchanges with DeFi products, some of them are exchanges, some of them aren't. So that's why I'm saying the concept of platforms, but that's the basic understanding. Now, in most arbitrage opportunities, it's not going to be as large as $20. It's going to probably be like $1 to $5, and a lot of times it's going to be more than 2 exchanges involved. It could be 3 or 4, 5, just to kind of get that actual price difference. Take advantage of that price difference. But it's all about trying to find the price differences on these platforms, and that's what we're going to do here. So what we're going to use is good old JavaScript and ether.js. Now, if you do not know JavaScript, it's okay. There is a web3.py, which is basically the same thing. I even created another version of this project in Python as well too that does the same thing. But because I want to get back into JavaScript programming, especially since ether.js is more popular as well too in this space, I decided that this would be a perfect time to kind of like refresh my knowledge on both. So why not just focus this on ether.js? But I do have a Python variation. I'll give it away to my students, whatever. All right, next you're gonna need Infura. This will let you connect to an Ethereum node. Hide your API keys, do not share them with anybody. JSON, the RPC provider for ether.js, will allow you to connect to Infura with your API key. We're going to be using the Uniswap and SushiSwap DeFi exchanges. Now, I always forget, but one of them is a fork of the other, so that's why it's easier to work with these two. They're basically similar. Fork means that the code was basically copied and changed just a little bit, but the foundations are the same. So that's why it's easier to find opportunity of arbitrage between these two. And this makes it a lot easier writing basic programs like this. Next, we're going to be trying to find two cryptocurrency. We're going to be trying to find arbitrage opportunity between two cryptocurrencies. based on their spread. I'm going to use USDC and USDT because they're basically around the same price. They're both like dollar variants, so they should be around at $1. So it makes it easier to kind of convert it into the next value, which is called Wei, which is the smallest denomination of Ether. We're also going to be using a very basic Solidity program within the middle of it. It's not going to be a full Solidity contract. It's going to be like something basic because, again, when this is based on the Ethereum mainnet, so when building this program, you need to use Solidity. Solidity is what's used to build on Ethereum, so you can't avoid Solidity when it comes to Ethereum. So we're going to be using a very basic function from Solidity in this program. But yeah, this is web3.py. There's the variation for Python, so I can get rid of this. Cool. So now let me run you through the code. This is the code. Don't worry. It is not that bad. It's actually pretty easy. It's only 71 lines of code. This is super simple. Now, first in the top here, you don't need any of this here. The reason I did this here is simply to hide my inferior API key within a file called utils.js. The reason I'm hiding that is because you're not supposed to be sharing API keys with anyone. Keep your API keys to yourself. It's literally, do not give your API keys away for any program. This is algo trading 101. Do not give your API keys out. I cannot specify that anymore. And because I'm showing this video, I don't want you to see my API key. So I put it in another folder and I imported it into this file and put it in here. But this is where I'm going to be. This is where you can manually, you could just literally put in a string with your API key, similar to the way I did it here. You can just like put it in between, you can put it in between this actual string and put it, that's it. But again, I want to hide it from you guys because again, I'm not sharing my API key. All right, now you get started with getting the Ether.js library into the actual folder, into actual file. And I put it in a variable called ethers just because just pulling from that actual library itself, which is here. You can see again directly from the actual documentation. This is exactly how you set it up. And this is common.js, so that's something also to understand, which is probably why you're going to need to add the syntax in if you end up doing this method here, but you're not going to. So just keep it simple. Use this. Next, you need the router addresses for the two cryptos that you plan to swap between, as well as the router addresses of the DeFi platforms. And I already showed you how to do that. You can go to etherscan.io and look up both of them. So this one is SushiSwap. It's contract. This router address right here is the contract right here. Uniswap, you can Google it and it's going to show you that router 2 is deployed here. So this is the contract for it. And again, these are the same values I put here. Now I'm using USDC and USDT. So you can again go to etherscan.io, search there USDT, USDC, and just same thing. Copy the contract. The token contract is here. Same thing with USDC. The contract is right here. So that's all you need to do. And you need to put it in a variable for both of them, for all four of them. That's basically what I did there. Now their trading path is going to be USDT to USDC. That's what we're going to do for the actual currencies themselves. So we're going to look into swap USDT to USDC. Now the router ABI, this is where we're going to need some Solidity work. This is exactly the contract for the ABI, but I dumbed it down to this one. Please pause this video. I'm going to show you. I'm split screening because I like to look at documentation while you write code. It's easier to look at documentation while you write code when you split screen it. 100% recommended. All right. Now the provider and the contract instances is next. So the provider is Infura, which is going to connect this to an Ethereum node. That's where you will put your API key, like I explained in the beginning. The contract is going to be the router addresses and the ABI. So this was the Uniswap router is going to be for the Uniswap router ABI, which is Solidity code that we have up here, and the provider is going to be Infura. And then we're going to do the same thing for the SushiSwap router as well. All right, and we're going to put these into variables: SushiSwap router, Uniswap router, and provider. Now the amount in is where we convert it into Wei, which is the lowest denomination. So we're actually, this syntax here is converting the actual values into ether and then into a. Essentially what we're doing here, and then we're putting it into a variable called amount in, because we're going to need this when we're actually getting these actual wave values from the DeFi platforms Uniswap and SushiSwap, which we're doing down here. Now the transaction fee, this may not be correct. I think this is the current transaction fees for both platforms. Now the easy thing about these platforms, again, since they're relatively the same, their transaction fee is basically the same. So I feel like right now this is the current transaction fee, but change it whenever you notice a difference. And I put that into a variable called transaction fee. Now we're getting into the actual function, function to define the swaps next. So what we're going to do, we create a main function to make sure it's asynchronous. And we're basically taking the wave values from the Uniswap and SushiSwap for both cryptocurrencies. And that's essentially what this syntax is. This is the uni amount out, and this is from the Uniswap values. And again, this is the way amount. Same thing with SushiSwap. We're doing the same thing here. And again, we're putting the trading path because we're going to be using it for these two cryptocurrencies. We're going to get the way amount for these two cryptocurrencies. All right. And then this is where we get to the ratios between them. So this is where we divide the way amounts for both cryptocurrencies for each platform. Because remember, we're using two cryptocurrencies, so we need to get the actual ratio for both. So that's what we're doing here. We're getting the ratio value on the Uni platform and the Sushi platform, and we're putting them in a variable called Uni price and Sushi price. And that's exactly what we're going to be logging here. And if you're in Python, console.log is a print statement for JavaScript. So we're just basically printing the actual values here. Next, we're going to create empty variables. It's going to be effective Uni price, effective Sushi price, and the price spread, which is again, this is the spread. $20 is the spread between these two. So this is the most important number in this entire program. Is going to basically allow us to find those arbitrage opportunities just off of that. All right. So if the Uni price ratio here is greater than the Sushi price ratio here for those two cryptocurrencies in Way, then that lets us know that the effective price is going to be the Uni price minus the Uni price times transaction fees. All right. And this is when we're going to be going from Uniswap to SushiSwap. That's essentially what they're saying. If the Uni price is greater than Sushi price, we're going from Uniswap to SushiSwap. All right. And we're going to do the same thing here, but we're going to add it for the Sushi price. And then the price spread will be the difference between these two values here. And that's where we're going to get the price spread for that. And now, if the price spread is greater than 0, we will sell on Uniswap and buy on SushiSwap. What that basically means is, again, exactly what we said here. You would buy it for 80, sell it for 100. So you would buy it for 80 on SushiSwap and sell it for 100 on Uniswap. This is why this diagram is so powerful. It's basically exactly what we're saying here. If the price spread is greater than 0, so if the price spread was 20, which is still greater than 0, this is exactly what we're doing. We're buying it here, selling it here. We're buying on Sushi, selling on Uni. Simple. Now, if the price spread isn't greater than 0, so if it's 0 or below, there is no arbitrage opportunity between the spread from Uniswap to SushiSwap. All right. Now, if the reverse happened now, if Sushi price is greater than Uni price, now we need to subtract the Sushi price from the Sushi price times transaction fees to make it the effective Sushi price. Same thing with the Uni price, but we need to add it. And then the price spread would be the effective Sushi price minus the effective Uni price. So this is a flip of what we did up here. And now the spread is going to be between Sushi to Uni. All right. And then this is where we flip the syntax. We would buy on Uniswap, which again, Uniswap would be example 2, and sell on Sushi. So we're basically trying to say which way in which the actual spread, if the spread is over greater than 0, which way is the spread actually greater than 0? Because then that's when we know where we need to buy and where we need to sell. And if there isn't, then there is no arbitrage opportunity. So this is basically checking to see which platform to which platform is going to have a spread greater than 0, which is going to be similar to the example here, and where it's going to be a way in which we can take advantage. All right. And lastly, we just call the main function down here. Let's open up our terminal. And now let's run the program. Give a minute. Node arb test.js required. A second, let me save this file. Using the first version of this file, so I'll put node, so it's supposed to be node arb test2.js. There we go. So I actually created a first version of it up here. I was like, wait, why is it saying that? Because saying that basically required, which I already implemented there. This is why, again, I'm just gonna run it as I'm doing it. But yeah, so basically what it found here was that the spread was from uni to sushi. There was a spread different there, so we would have to buy the USDT and then sell it on SushiSwap for USDC. So they figured out that there is an arbitrage opportunity between these two. Again, it's stating here. And that's exactly how this program runs. It's pretty simple. Again, I'm going to double check this, but yeah. So if you want to try this out, I 100% recommend it. It's a pretty simple program. Love it. And it's pretty easy to run. So double check everything here. Make sure you have everything created. And if you want to see now how you can actually execute this. Now, execution of this is going to require, again, going back to good old Solidity, because Solidity is going to be needed in order to execute the actual trade. So if there is an arbitrage opportunity as stated here, to actually execute the buy and sell, you would need to actually create a Solidity contract. So you need to create a folder on the side here for your contracts and actually have your Solidity code ready. Now, if you want to explore that further, if you want to go into a deeper rabbit hole of crypto arbitrage, especially as we go through crypto Christmas, sign up for Algo World below. This is what I'm going to be dedicating the entire month to, not just crypto arbitrage, but all crypto trading projects through DeFi platforms is what we're going to be focusing on. And even some crypto trading platforms on KYC platforms that allow US based traders to actually be there, like Binance. So if you want to learn a little bit more about crypto trading on all of these platforms, sign up for Algo World. See you in the first videos. And if you have any questions, please shoot them in the comments below, and we'll kind of go through them as we go. But if you have any other additional things you want to know, just shoot them in the videos, shoot them in the comments as well, and I'll create additional videos. But again, this is basically it. This is a simple, dumbed down version. If you want to explore it further, again, I would recommend you look through the documentations for all of these platforms I'm going to have below in the description. Check them out. Also, refresh yourself on JavaScript. If you want to recreate this in Python, by all means do. It's pretty simple as well. So see you guys in the next video. Peace.